Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Relentless Beauty, as you know, and this is my first YouTube video. So if you know, you know. Um, as you know, you already see the title, so we're just gonna get into it, okay?
I'm moving too fast. Got three on the
From
dash.
the title, we're gonna get into the tea. I am turning my tea into testimony. I took almost 2 years of doing therapy, doing substance abuse classes, and I have decided to release and forgive. And for that reason, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna turn y'all's tea. It's tea to y'all, but it's my testimony. My story is not to be vindictive towards anybody. My story is not to bash anybody. It is just to truly tell my testimony, and I want everybody to know why I chose my brand name, Relentless Beauty. I want some of my experience to maybe help somebody through maybe some of their hardships, or maybe if they're going through substance abuse issues, because for me, mine was alcohol. And I've been getting through it, with therapy, with God. I've been working very hard on myself. So I've decided to turn some of my struggles, some of my mental battles, and some of my stories into testimony to help others. So I'm hoping that this can help someone maybe tell their truth, let their story be a testimony to other people to help them. It could help dig somebody out of a hole that you don't know that other people are in. So, with that being said, we're just going to get right into the video, okay? And I'll tell my story one day of how I even ended up in foster care. That's a long story, but we're not here for that today. We're here for healing, and that also is a part of my healing journey as well. But that's a story for another day. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe and tap in for that story as well. So, needless to say, I always had to look out for my brother. So I went and lived with these people. And I think I was with my adoptive parents for about 6 months before we got adopted. It was not long. I didn't know them long. I didn't. But I did what I needed to do for my brother. And I always wanted to have my brother's back. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty, right? I can honestly say, I didn't realize and start getting uncomfortable with certain things until I was probably about 11, about to be 12. I started noticing certain things. And I think reason being is because when you're a preteen and when you're like 11, 12, or about to be 13, you're about to be in your teenage years, you start to not think like a little child, like everything's glitz and glitter, and like you start to notice things, you start to feel differently about things, you start to come into your own thoughts and your own mind, and so nobody else is thinking for you. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I started around 11 years old. I started feeling like uncomfortable with certain things that my adoptive dad was doing. For instance, I had never had an adoptive or foster parent always want to kiss me in my mouth. Like that to me from the get was like just weird to me. I just felt like that's not, like, you're not, I know you're not my dad. I know you're not my dad. So why do you keep wanting to do that? And then you don't do it in front of other people. You do it when it's time for me to go to bed. I don't know. At the time, I was a kid, so I thought it was weird, but it was just like, I'm just trying to get along to go along in this house. I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that always felt very uncomfortable to me. I had been in foster homes that had a dad and a mom, and that was never the dynamic, regardless of how long I was with them. So, y'all, okay, this is taking a lot for me. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is taking a lot for me, but I'm gonna get it out. Give me a second. So, okay, I started noticing that, right? I started noticing that. And I started, like, when I would go see, we're gonna call her Okay. I started to notice it, and so I started telling one of my grandparents, like my grandma to be specific. Like, he does stuff to make me feel uncomfortable. Ooh. So, she's like, okay, it may not be no big deal, She didn't think much of it. So, um, I don't think she thought much of it. Like I said, I don't think she thought it was a big deal. I told her like I thought it was weird. But as time progressed, right, probably around the time I was like about to be 12 or 12, I had started noticing, like, when it's time for bed and everybody's asleep, nobody knows this is going on in the house or like what he was doing. He would always be like, "Oh, you're not gonna come tell me goodnight?" And I'm like, okay, good night. He's like, "Oh no, come in the room, come tell me good night." And he would want me to sit in his lap, right? So, yeah, I was probably like 12 or almost 12 when I started noticing. So I'm like, why does he want me to sit in his lap? Then I start feeling him. Like, I could feel him, right? And I'm like, but it was like he would not let me get up. It was like he'd be rocking in the chair almost like jarring up against me, like my hands. And I started to just feel uncomfortable. So I would see my grandma sparingly, right? And so I would tell her, like, it's time for Chris. I would tell her, like, he's starting to make me very, very uncomfortable. Because it had got to a point where he was, he would get mad if I did not come tell him goodnight. He would punish me, take my phone, take my MP3 player, whatever I liked, my DS. Like, he would take things from me if I didn't come tell him goodnight. If I didn't want to sit in his lap, he would take things from me. He would punish me for not want to do it. He would punish me for telling him I'm uncomfortable. I started telling him I was uncomfortable around like 12. No. He would punish me, like be mean to me the next day, just raise all kinds of hell, y'all. Like, when I say raise all kinds of hell, take my phone, like, it would be unwarranted. And granted, my mama would be like, she ain't know what at the time, she know what the fuck was going on. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what was going on. She just thought he was acting crazy. She was just like, she was so wrapped up in her dealings with her nonprofit and all of her things she had going on. I don't think she really like noticed it like that. And then, so I'm gonna tell you at what point she did know. I told one of my cousins, I'm not gonna say my cousin's name, but I told one of my cousins, and we were around the same age, that he does stuff to make me uncomfortable. And she's like, does stuff like what? And I told her what was going on. And I don't know which parent she told, but it got back to my mom. And when I was addressed and asked about it, it was more so an attack. It was like, what did you tell them? Whoa, is like. So when she told them, it was more so like when it got back to my mom, the approach was an attack. It was not a come here, sit down. Let me take you out the house. Let's go talk. Let's go get something to eat. Like, what's going on? It did not feel like a safe space. It never felt like a safe space in that house. And everybody wondered why. Oh, he's a little overprotected. He's a little crazy. That's why he was obsessed with me. He was obsessed with me. Y'all want to know why he was so crazy? He was obsessed with me. It was not just he's overprotective. Oh, he's just a loving dad. He was obsessed with me. He didn't want me talking to boys. He would text boys in my phone, tell them I don't want nothing to do with you no more, acting like me. He would call boys on my phone and tell them don't call her phone no more, like he's my man. And I'm 12, 13, 14, 15. It was going on for years, him acting like that. Seriously. Y'all wonder, like, that's why. This is the truth. And if anybody know me or know that family, that was the truth. He was crazy. And he let other siblings kind of do what they want to do. But when it came down to me, oh no. And this is why. I had an incident where I was probably in like 5th grade, and I went and stayed the night at one of my adoptive cousin's house and her stepdaughter, and they couldn't understand why would she be. I got caught watching y'all at that house, and they couldn't understand why would she be watching this type of stuff, because something was going on in that house. People wanted to know, why is he acting crazy like this? Because something's going on in that house. If the signs are there, if y'all see something that is off, if you hear something is off, do something about it. Because sometimes, like, I've been hearing questions like, why did you take so long to say something? Why would you lie? For one, I don't have a reason to lie about nothing that happened to me in childhood. I've never lied about anything that I went through in childhood. So why would I lie now about that? Number two, why did I wait so long? Because, for one, imagine being in a household where you're silenced all the time. You can't go be around people. You can't have a phone. You can't do this. You can't have social media. Who am I going to tell if I'm not around people? So, no, what the questions we really need to ask is, why ain't nobody called the police? The question we really need to ask is, why ain't nobody protected this child up in this house? Because, like I had to tell other people, y'all experience is not my experience. I'm not y'all. Y'all not me. Y'all may not have had that type of experience. I feel like my whole life I have been sexualized. So for me, what I know when something's uncomfortable, I got touched on at 4 years old before I even got put in the system. I knew then something wasn't right. I was never a slow child. I've never been a slow person. So, yes, to answer all that, this went on, and I ain't gonna, this went on for a long time. Y'all know how crazy that means to be. If you know, you know. This went on for a long time. Up until I was about 16, my grandma says, he's still doing it, it's still going on. And I said, yes. And every time I tell him I'm uncomfortable, he punishes me. He's taking things away. He's being mean to me all week. Like, he's not nice to me. He's nasty in the house to me. Like, he's acting crazier. He's popping up at school. He's popping up at my school to see if I'm talking to boys at school in the morning. And if you went to my high school, you can confirm. I'm not lying. Okay? So, my grandma says, I'm going to talk to his best friend. I'm going to tell him if he don't stop that, tell him if he don't stop that shit, I'm going to call the police on him. He's going to lose his family. I can't confirm or deny whether he told him this now. I don't know. But it did stop. He didn't never stop acting crazy, but he did stop doing the stuff when I was about 17, 16, 17, going on 17. He stopped. I don't know if that was what made him stop, but he did stop the late night stuff when everybody's asleep. He stopped it. So it did stop at some point when I was about 16. And then crazy started getting crazier. He would pop up at my school in the mornings during breakfast time to see if I'm talking to boys, to see what I'm doing in the hallway. He would stay there. He would walk down the hallways with the principal to see what I'm doing. I didn't even have a phone. I didn't have a iPod. I didn't have I was about to say AirPod, y'all. What the hell? But I didn't have an iPod. I didn't have no form of communication. I couldn't have a MySpace. I couldn't have a Facebook when they came. I couldn't have nothing. So I didn't have no way to even communicate with guys. They were scared of my daddy anyway because how he acted. So for him to be popping up at the school almost every morning was just like, it's getting out of hand. Like, it was so embarrassing, y'all. I don't even know how I made homecoming court because that's how embarrassing it was my senior. Like, the stuff he was doing was so embarrassing, y'all. Like, I was like, I just couldn't. I couldn't believe the stuff he was doing, but it was happening, and it happened a lot. Y'all, this man was looking under my bathroom door before I would get in the shower. I caught him one time. And so, what ended up happening one day when that stopped, I think I was like 17. It may have been my senior year. My mom comes to check me out of school for some type of appointment, dentist, doctor, I don't know. But it was some type of appointment. And we get in the car. She says, why didn't you tell me your dad, she's hitting her seat thing. She's like, why do you tell me your dad's been popping up at the school? You tell me everything else. And I said, well, I thought you knew, because when we go get on the bus, he's here with you. And she says, no, he tells me he's going to go get the baby's diaper bag. And then when I look outside, the car is gone. And when he comes back, he's saying he went to go get gas or something. And I'm like, how you expect me to be responsible for what happened whenever? I don't know. I thought you knew. So she says, well, the secretary, I'm not going to say her name. She says, the secretary pulled me out to the side outside and tells me that it's a rumor going around with the staff at your school saying they think that he's a pedophile. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I don't know how long the rumor's been going on, but you should have told me he's been popping up at the school. So my thing was always, if I told you he was doing stuff to make me uncomfortable, I didn't go into detail. I told you he's doing stuff to make me uncomfortable. You didn't get a hold on that. What makes you think it was going to change now? Now you're getting a hold on it because he's out of control. Now you're getting a hold on it because it's a rumor with the staff at the school that I go to because of how he's acting. He's been out of control for a long time, and nobody ever said nothing. Nobody ever did nothing. And now you running around wondering why you got high blood pressure and vertigo and all this stuff going on with your health because you sat up mad, angry, acting crazy, all that, all them years, all the stuff you've done. And then when I get grown, it's like, oh, it's like it never happened. Now I'm grown. Now it's like it never happened. That is beyond me. Like, that's beyond me. So, okay, y'all. So, the reason why I feel how I feel about my mother hating and resenting me for, bless you, sweetheart. My mother hating and resenting me for certain things that transpired in that house, right? Because for one, when I was in middle school and we had that conversation, there was never a safe space to say, hey, let's talk about, like, okay, what exactly is going on that's making you uncomfortable? It was straight attack. Every time that I was addressed about anything and things that wasn't even in my control, it was an attack verbally. It was a verbal attack, and you slamming stuff, you're hitting stuff, and you're mad, woo, right? Once I got grown, I remember I came home one weekend and I wanted to go out with my friends to Applebee's. And my friends that went to Applebee's that was there, and he came and picked me up like he was my man. I didn't even get my drink had just got served. And I think I was like 18, 19. I was just home like for a weekend to go to my brother's homecoming game for his senior year. And he showed up like he was my man at Applebee's. Told me, hey, I need you to leave. You need to go get in. I need to talk to you. That's what he said. I need to talk to you. And he said, no, I need you to go get in the car. And we pulled off and left. And I did not go back to Applebee's. We went home. He said, I don't know. Well, who you think you are? You trying to get away and be sneaky? And I'm like, be sneaky? I'm at Applebee's. Everybody go to Applebee's after the games. Y'all know. If you're from my hometown, you know. Everybody goes. Back then, everybody went to Applebee's after the game. That was a spy. We going to go get a trio, okay? So anyway, I remember I was arguing. I was going off on him, and I was like, I don't know why you act so crazy. I was going off. When I say y'all going off, I said everything but cuss words to him. And we get in the house and we arguing, and my mom was like, why did you go pick her up? Blah. I told her she could go. So we arguing. It was a big old thing. It was a big blowout with all of us. And my mom says, just don't come back. He acts so crazy with you. Just don't come back. We'll just drive down there and bring you groceries to college. Or I'll just send you money because he acts too crazy when you come home. Ain't that sad? You can't even come home and support your brother in his senior activities without hell breaking loose. So I didn't go back. No lie, I didn't go back. I didn't. I didn't go back for a while because it was just too crazy that night. And perspective is a little different than mine. My perspective may not be their perspective, and that's fine and that's cool, right? So this is when I started to realize, maybe this bitch hate me. Maybe she don't like me. I don't know. Maybe she hates me. I wanted to go to the Air Force, right? My son was between 1 and 2. And my son was between 1 and 2. And I wanted to go to the Air Force to try to like better my life. Like I kind of was just, I had stopped working at this loan company, and I was just trying to find my way. Like I've always been good at being a corporate girly, but I never wanted to be one. Like that's never working for somebody the rest of my life. Ain't never retiring from making other people rich. Ain't never been my stilo. So anyway, I just remember, right, around that time, it was people made it extremely difficult for me for being in the corporate world. Even when I was paying them to daycare, from a daycare to family to friends of the family, they were just making it very difficult for me to be in the corporate world. I remember that. That was like almost, especially when you got a baby daddy like mine, a broke one, a trifling one. It was extremely hard. It was extremely hard to be in the corporate world and have a very demanding career and have a toddler when you don't have a lot of support. They say they're supportive, they act like they're there, but they are not supportive people. And when I started to realize that, okay, maybe these people don't really fuck with me like that, right? I remember I was having a family friend keep my son. I was paying her. She wanted to do it for free. I was paying her. I told her, no, you ain't gonna be telling people you keep my baby for free. Nope, I'm gonna pay you every time I get paid. She's keeping my son. She's also keeping my little sister, getting her off the bus. And it starts to become a problem that my son is there. And I wish they would stop. And so it started to become a problem that my son was there as a baby. Like, oh, why you take so long in the office? You can't tell your supervisor. You need to treat us like daycare. Why you went and got Similac before you came and got him? Like, what do y'all want me to do? Don't he need Similac for tomorrow? I'm confused. What is the problem? It's 7:00. Oh, you've been in the office since 8. It's like, yeah, I have. Do you tell your supervisor you're leaving right now? Like, yeah, I'm leaving. I don't care what you're talking about. No. It's the end of the month. If our numbers are not where they need to be, he told us to stay. So I gotta stay. I gotta keep my career. It became such a hassle, such a big thing. But we're gonna get really deep into that on another day. As far as like how I came to even being a hairstylist. That's another story for another day, right? But all in all, I started to realize, okay, these people, like, even my manager would be like, why do they act like that? Don't you pay a person to keep, like, and I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what that's about, right? So I'm like, they don't fuck me like that. Like, so, then I got very sick, y'all. I got very, 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 very sick. I have a colon issue called diverticulitis, right? And it's like where your well, I ain't gonna say I have diverticulitis, but sometimes I have diverticulitis flare-ups. I have diverticulitis on my colon. I have flare-ups sometimes. And I remember I was in the hospital a week. I went through all that. It was a mess. And I remember telling my parents, like, the doctor recommends that I get some of my colon cut out, like 4 inches. And he recommended it because it was such a harsh attack for the first time. That was when I first got diagnosed with it. I never knew I had anything going on with my colon. And he recommended, like, I think we need to, because you're going to continue to have attacks, which I have continued to have attacks, but not as bad as that one. It's not like I've had hospital stays or nothing. Thank God. God is so good. And so with that being said, he was like, I suggest surgery in these cases where the attack is really bad the first time, because it's going to persist throughout your life if you don't get it fixed, if you don't cut it out. And so I let my mom know that I thought that I should go ahead and do it so I don't have to keep dealing with it for the rest of my life. And But the doctor recommended, if you have a toddler, I think that you need to probably stay with somebody for a month or two, or have somebody stay with you. Like, if you don't have a husband or something, like, you need to have some help, because you're not going to be able to lift the baby up. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things after the surgery, because you're healing. And my mom straight up told me, no, you can't come here to heal from your surgery. Like, no, you better figure it out. You better find a way. Nope. I remember I wanted to go to the Air Force. I'm just trying to better myself. I don't want to do this career anymore. I think I just want to go to the Air Force so I can live a better life. Oh, no, we can't help you with your baby for 6 months. You're going to have to, I don't know what you need to do. Y'all better send them on. I don't know what you should do. And granted, that's not their responsibility. They did what they were supposed to do, right? But don't act like, this is my thing. This is my thing, y'all. This is my thing. This is my thing about it, right? So don't act like you in full support of somebody, and when you're on the internet, you're just acting like you're just the most supportive parent, and you're just so, like, I don't like that. Don't be fake. Guys, let's not forget, I didn't beg to move back here from Montgomery. When I found out I was pregnant with my son, this is your first child, my first boy, my first grandson. Move up here. Move up here. You can stay in mama's house. And then I come to find out on my brother's baby shower day that you did promise him and his girl they could move there. And now me and mine ain't got nowhere to stay. I done gave up my job with the Department of Education with a government clearance and good little government job. He done gave up his job. We in the middle of our 2-week notice. I done got out my lease. And you mean to tell me we don't have nowhere to stay? But you love me? But you choke me while I'm pregnant? Don't be fake. Don't be fake. You don't really support me. You don't really fuck with me. Stop acting like that on the internet. Stop acting like that with people. Like, you don't even like me for real. You never really have, ever since you knew what you knew. So just stop. Her character is just so nasty. Like, motherfuckers want to talk about me? No. Your soul and your spirit is disgusting. I did not want to jeopardize the relationship I was trying to build back with my mom. And when I say build back, yes, build back. Because me and her was at it for a minute because she choked me while I was 6 months pregnant with my son. And then tried to blame me. And when he started walking and talking, trying to blame me and act like I'm the reason why he don't like her. Girl, he know what you put me through while he was in me. So yes, I was trying to avoid depleting our relationship we trying to build back. Because I was about to be done with them then. We'll talk about what happened with the house on another day. Because she had me then. I wanted to let this whole thing go with them then. When you choked me while I was pregnant with my son. You heard it, y'all. Choked me. She should be in jail too. But anyway. Anyway, y'all. My life is like a movie, y'all. Like, my life is really like a movie. But this was what KO'd me. This is what KO'd me. This is what KO'd me. This is what KO'd me with them, y'all. Baby, this is what KO'd me with them. And I almost got it back in blood. I ain't gonna lie. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna let God handle them. My salon floods, right? My mom says, you got 2 weeks to leave. The week that my salon floods. You got 2 weeks to leave. You got 2 weeks to move out. I'm going to put you and Caden's stuff out on the street. I said, okay. I'm not going to argue with you about your shit. I said, okay. I said, I appreciate you letting me stay here during my season of trying to, get out of school and stuff. I said, and I sent her a scripture. It was Psalms 56. Go look it up. And I said, God already showed me who he was. He told me to buy this Bible, actually, so I could figure out why you treat me the way you are. She said, you know what? I agree with you. Yeah, Psalms 56 is right. And if you know Psalms 56, it talks about the righteous up against the wicked. God does not have us. I have not been battling this person, these people by name. I have been battling the spirits that live within them. And I've come to realize that, right? Because once that happened, you tell me you're going to put my baby stuff on the street? My baby? I'm telling my message because I really want to help people. I really know that there are people that are in some dark times right now, and I've been there. I've been there, and I've strayed away from God for a long time. I was using coping mechanisms, weed, alcohol, a lot. And when I say a lot, it would be like a every weekend thing. I'm drinking. Every weekend thing, I'm smoking. When my son's not around, I'm lit. And I've come to realize over these past 3 years that ain't about nothing. It really is not about nothing. I went through so much stuff. I went through so many battles. It caused me more harm than good than just going to God, you know? But I was just a lost soul. I really was. I was so hurt, so depressed because of everything in my life. And I thought that was the only way. And I've come to realize that that's not the only way to cope with things. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you're not in a space that I'm in right now. We're all going to be in different places and spaces in our lives. But I want for people to be empowered. I want people to feel good and knowing that it's okay to speak. It's okay to have a voice. You don't have to go along and beat yourself up and beat your brain up and your mind up because you're harboring things in your heart that have hurt you. Let it go. Let it out. Let it go. So that if it's that deep, we'll leave, honey. Right? So we're packing. I think I took my son to Legoland the next week, and then we packed to get ready to leave. I'm packing. She shows up the day before I'm supposed to leave and says, I need to know where y'all staying. I need to know where he's going to be going to school. I said, what you need to know that for? Well, I just need to know. I said, why would you want to know when you putting us out? Why does it matter where he's going to be going to school and where I'm going to be staying? It's none of your concern, right? She says, no, you need to tell me. You need to tell me where y'all going to be at. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to tell you. Good luck. She leaves. She calls my baby dad. And she know he batshit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy. Tells him, oh, she needs somewhere to stay. She's just up and moving out. According to what now, I don't know. They're both liars and manipulators. According to what he told me, he says, your mom didn't tell me that she put you out. Nor did she tell me she was giving you 2 weeks to leave. She told me that you were just picking up and leaving. She didn't tell me she was putting you out. She didn't tell me, none of that. She ain't had no reason behind why she was putting you out. She been wanting me to go. Ever since she knew about my salon, she been wanting me to go. It just been I've been trying to get the salon done. And I told her I'll leave once the salon done. But now the salon's done. So, okay, I'll leave. So, my baby dad ends up saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to call the police. You're my son. Come here. Well, I didn't want to stay with him. He ends up putting his hands on me. She knew it was going to happen because he does it every time. That's why I don't deal with him. That's why I'm not with him. And I'm packing my son's stuff because he's going into a safety plan with her to go live with her and my dad and my sister and my brother so I can get me a place of my own again. And I said, Mom, why did you set me up? And she says, well, I did it because you just put the key in the mailbox and you just didn't say anything. You just abandoned us. Girl, you put me out. You want me to beg you? No, bitch. Let me tell you, demons, narcissists want you to argue. They want you to need them. So when you don't give them what they want, they are going to try to make your life a living hell. And that's what has started to transpire. Y'all, I'm not going to lie. For a long time, I was suicidal for a long time. And I wanted to do bad things to myself when I was a kid. And I'm glad that God delivered me from that. I think that my mother played off of that for a long time. I was in middle school when I first started having those feelings because I felt trapped in that house, especially when I started to feel uncomfortable and feeling like I'm getting bullied because I'm uncomfortable. Or if I speak up and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable, I don't like that, I'm getting bullied. I dealt with I was suicidal for some years because I felt like I was a prisoner in my own home. And I chose this place to be at with my brother. My parents found notes and just certain things that I said I wanted to do to myself, which I'm not going to go into detail. But I battled with mental health for a while. And I didn't want to be here anymore. And this was at like 12, 13, because I felt like a prisoner in my own home. I felt like I was getting bullied because I didn't feel comfortable with what was going on with him and what he was doing to me at nighttime. And when I speak up, I'm attacked. If it's not attacked by her, I'm attacked by him. He's treating me some type of way. He's taking away privileges from me because I'm not giving him what he wants. A true narcissist. It's like it's almost like they flipped roles when I got in adulthood, and it's like almost like my mom after my grandparents died. It was like she became the real narcissist, and he's more like calm and chill how she was when I was in elementary, high school. But yeah, I battled with that for a long time. I fought with that for a long time, and I never went to therapy for it. And I think that spirit had always played on me since it first became a thing in my mind. It played on me around the time that my parents, my salon flooded, and my parents kicked me out of my grandma's house the same week. So, I'm glad that God has delivered me from that spirit. It is a hard spirit to fight. And I recommend anybody that's fighting right now and fighting today to keep fighting. Pray. And if you don't feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, there are therapy lines that you can call. You can call a therapist line and they'll sit and listen to you for an hour and just get it out. If you don't feel like you don't have anybody, let it go and move on so you can truly heal, so you can be the best version of yourself in life. And that's where that's the point that I'm coming to. I have been working very hard to be the best version of myself. Has it been hard? Yes. More than anything, y'all, I went through a lot of anxiety. I went through a lot of depression. I went through a lot of substance abuse. My substance of choice was weed and alcohol. And I went to jail a lot. I fought a lot. I did a lot of things. I was promiscuous. I was doing everything that I had no business doing but God. And I'm going to leave it at that. Mic drop. What else is there to say? But God. So, if you're struggling right now, get you some help. It is okay. Black people have such this big stigma with going to therapy, going to get help, going to substance abuse classes, going to AA, going to get treatment, going to check themselves in to get treatment for substance abuse. It is nothing wrong with it. Even if, because to me, right, some people would tell me, oh, well, I don't think you're an alcoholic. You don't even drink every day. You don't even drink every other day. It's like, yeah, but when I do drink, I don't know how to stop. It's like as soon as it hits my lip, I don't know how to stop drinking. That's still a problem. That's still alcoholism in my book. But I'm telling y'all, I went through the fire, lost custody of my son. I went through so many things, y'all. I went through so many things because I was not turning to God. I was turning to everything else, turning to men, turning to parents, turning to man. I was turning to man. Relying on my mother, my father, my baby daddy, a boyfriend. And every time they failed me. When the whole time I was supposed to be going to God. What a coincidence. Like, girl, how many more options do you need? More options do you need? Do I need to send you an alien? Like, why are you not coming to me? And I'm glad I found God and I went back to God and started doing the right thing about myself. Now I love myself enough to tell this story. Now I love myself enough to make sure I'm good. Make sure my mental's straight. Make sure I get what I need so I could be the best mother and the best person I can for myself so I could be that for my son. You get what I'm saying? That's where it starts. It starts with you. Love you. Everything else can wait. Go to God, y'all. Go to God. Even if you're in a space right now where you feel like all you need is some weed, all you need is a drink, still go to God. God ain't looking for anything but But our heart and us trying. God wants us to try. God looks at our heart. Do you know what I'm saying? God looks at our heart. He don't expect perfection from us. He know we're not going to be perfect. That's why Jesus died on our sin, died for our sins on the cross. Y'all, when I tell y'all, the devil did not want me to make this video. He tried so hard. The devil tried so hard today. It's been just mess after mess since the time I woke up. That's how I know it was important for me to make this video. If it wouldn't have happened, and if what happened today wouldn't have happened, I would have just been like, oh, okay, just another day. No, this message was supposed to get out. And I hope this helps somebody. I hope this heals somebody. And I hope this empowers somebody more than anything.